everyone. Welcome to the Cena Podcast, where the gossip is just as good as the food. Today we're going to talk about Hispanic musical artists. I feel like Hispanic music is just as varied and as influential as a lot of American music. So we want to talk about that, some of our favorite music, some of our favorite genres, some of our favorite artists. So my name is Erika. I'm a computer science major, and I am a sophomore.
My name is Leslie Urbina. I'm a computer science major, and I'm a freshman.
My name is Justin Cano. I'm a history major and I'm a freshman.
Who is a Hispanic artist that you think needs to be mentioned?
Oh, 100% Shakira. Shakira, she's been in the news recently and she has broken so many records with her, this song to her ex. But even before that, in the past, 20, 30 years, she has, broken so many glass ceilings for, a lot of Latino artists. She was the first Latino artist to host MTV Unplugged in Spanish. Her breakthrough, from starting the music industry since she's 13, being successful by the time she's 18, going on an American tour or a worldwide tour by the time she's 20. It's just crazy. So I think Shakira has to be mentioned for everything she's done for Hispanic music and Hispanic artists and Hispanic culture.
So what's your favorite Shakira song?
That is hard. It changes every now and then, but I think my favorite of most time it's called Octavo Dia from her album Donde Están los Ladrones. And it's basically about God coming to the earth on the 8th day after creation and seeing it just gone to destruction and just saying that the world is being destroyed and nobody's looking up to God. Everyone's worshiping false idols. Everybody's worshiping the royal family. Or Tarzan, or politicians, for example.
Shakira, absolutely an icon. And I think you talk about MTV Unplugged is actually crazy because a lot of artists that I follow did MTV Unplugged in Spanish. I wasn't aware that Shakira was the one that kind of paved that path.
Yeah, she did. At that time, she wasn't doing any pop music. She was just doing rock music.
Yeah.
And that's what she performed MTV Unplugged with, is her rock music from her album, Donde Están los Ladrones.
Tell us an artist that you think is necessary when talking about Hispanic culture.
In many ways, I would say Pedro Infante.
Yeah, that's a good
But Juan Gabriel.
Juan Gabriel, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was my first concert, actually.
Really? You're so lucky.
I remember it was my first concert. I went to see Juan Gabriel in where was he? I think he was in the state in the Teatro de San Luis.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great experience seeing him because he has that charisma that not many artists do. He actually acts and he puts everything into how he sings. Have you watched videos about how he sings? He's not only singing, but he's also acting as he's singing.
Mm-hmm.
When he was singing Amor Eterno, everybody was crying. Body language that he was speaking of, it just made, something to make you cry.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who he is, if you haven't checked him out, you really should. He made from rancheras to pop, a little bit of rock. Everyone says he was gay.
He's definitely a flamboyant icon. And I think really a huge part of Juan Gabriel's appeal is his live performances, as you said. My parents got to see him, I think, a month or so before he died. So I never got the chance to see him, unfortunately. And so, rest in peace to a king. But yeah, he is incredible. He has a live album where he performs in Las Bellas Artes, isn't that what
that's the biggest stadium in Mexico.
Yeah, and he performed there. And it's actually ridiculous. The genre, not to get too nerdy, but the genre that Juan Gabriel plays in the style of his canción melódica, which is this. It's pop, and it's but it has a lot of Mexican
influence.
There's a lot of mariachi, boleros, and bolero is also I'm throwing out terms here, but mariachi is Mexican
that's
band.
Mexican.
Yeah, that's with a band, a backing band, and very powerful vocals. And bolero is it's more subtle.
It was spread everywhere. It wasn't just a Mexican thing. There was Cuban singers who had boleros.
For sure.
There were Colombians and Argentinians who had boleros. It was just this term that it simplified to romantic music as a whole. I would recommend Sabor a Mí, which is by El Trío, ¿cuál fue? El Trío Los Panchos, El Canela, two great boleros that you could listen to as a recommendation. And you could sing it to your girlfriend too,
Yeah. I'm trying to think what's the most impactful artist when it comes to Hispanic culture?
There's not one.
There's not one, of course, but in my opinion, well, just because I'm such a rockhead, and I do need to expand my genres where I'm trying, but it'll probably be Gustavo Cerati. He was the lead singer of Soda Stereo.
An Argentinian?
Yeah, he's an Argentinian. Soda Stereo did everything. They did new wave, which is this more poppy kind of.
It's more upbeat
rhythm, but then he went into shoegaze, which is awesome to find like a shoegaze Spanish album, and shoegaze is like noisy rock with very quiet vocals but very loud guitars. It's a great genre, and so they made shoegaze, they made new wave, they made like alternative rock.
What's the question? What was his most famous song?
His most famous song? Well, I don't know. I followed mostly his solo career. Soda Stereo's
Soda Stereo's most famous.
I don't know. I followed mostly Gustavo's solo career.
Really?
Yeah.
So then you don't never listen to música ligera?
Música ligera? I probably did, but like,
De música ligera.
oh yeah, of course.
That one?
Yeah, I recognize it. It is a great song, and like, but like I'm just thinking of his solo career. Like he had one album. Oh, shoot, it's called Bocanada, which I think means like puff of smoke or something. Like in Argentinian Spanish, because I've never heard that in Spanish.
Oh.
It was just like all kinds of. It was very Hispanic, but it was also like incredibly ranged in the styles it did. It's great. So I would say him. He's definitely one of the artists.
So what music would you recommend us? Like if rock, let's say, well, not even rock. what's the genre that you feel most people don't know about? The artists, people that they should definitely listen to.
I think pop is definitely overlooked. Because people think that pop is like just popular music that's like redundant or has nothing to say. And I've actually found pop that that has stuff to say and it's really important. And I mean, that's kind of what happens with like a lot of big name artists when they start like with underground, like, you know, Shakira started with rock and now she mainly does pop and reggaeton now. But yeah, I really like pop.
Yeah.
I really like pop. I think another Latin pop, not Latin, Rosalía.
Yeah.
She's not Latina,
But she's Hispanic.
She's Hispanic. Yes, she's Hispanic. She kind of started making off like indie music, but now it's like pop reggaeton, and it's really fun, and it has a lot to say, and has a lot of influences from like other Hispanic artists I like. So I think that's important. I'm trying to get more into like the main pop roles of Spanish music because I'm like more into pop English music. So I've been listening to like Karol G's new album and I really like it. She has a lot of genres on it.
Oreja de Van Gogh.
Yeah, those are really good. Oh, I really love Julieta Venegas.
Julieta Venegas.
She's really good. I've been like listening to all her albums slowly. I really like her album Steve, you know, the cover.
Yeah, which is like on the dress.
In the dress,
Yeah,
that one's
Great
iconic.
songs.
Natalia Lafourcade.
Yes,
Of
I love
course, an
her.
icon.
Yeah,
I feel like-
Argentina.
Yeah, I do want to nerd out about Natalia now that you mentioned her because
Mhm.
as a, like, well, she's Mexican, first of all, huge pride, right?
Yeah.
Like the pride just comes through when I hear it because it pays so much respect to boleros and to mariachi and to, but she has her own spin on it. It's like, she still carries a lot of that indie flair that she had when she became like a new artist.
Mhm.
She still carries a lot of like that experimentation, but also a huge paid a tribute to Mexican music. She made covers of like Agustin Lara's music and Agustin Lara another. I guess the closest, I don't like to compare like, yeah, I don't like to compare Hispanic artists to American artists, but like for a lot of people, he'd be like a Mexican Frank Sinatra. I would say like he was from that time period, but he was, dare I say it, more talented.
I would say Pedro Infante would be the Mexican Sinatra.
I get that comparison too, but I would say Agustin Lara just in terms of like, just how they only had like one vocal range, and they kind of like stayed there, like Agustin Lara and Frank Sinatra. And I would like.
I will agree to disagree.
Yeah, because it is like hard to say, but Agustin Lara definitely his own unique person. But Natalia Lafourcade made like a whole album dedicated to him, but it had a lot of like modern pop influence. This is sick. Like I just love how she does that. But yeah, alright, proceed.
I actually have that one on vinyl.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't listened to it because my vinyl, my record player broke. But hopefully I get a new one this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've been listening to. Last year I listened to like Bon Laferte.
Bon Laferte,
Yeah,
from
Mon Laferte.
Colombia.
Yeah, she's pretty
Chilean.
good.
Chilean?
Chilean, yeah. There's Arca.
Arca.
She's a trans Venezuelan and she does a lot of production for like Rosalía. She's a producer for Kanye West. She produces for Madonna, and she has a lot of like behind the scenes influence, which I think is really cool and really important because not only is she Hispanic, but she's also trans, and she's like in these huge mainstream circles, which you barely ever see that.
It's wild. I feel like the only one who was also like in a similar level as Arca could have been like Sophie.
Oh, definitely.
But Sophie's not Hispanic.
Yeah.
Sophie is now recognized.
Yeah, definitely.
Most, I feel like, no, I don't want to say mostly, but she was iconic, but like she passed away, so a lot of her recognition has come to light. But Arca is still, I feel like, pretty
Like,
low key.
Low key, yeah. Not. It's like I've heard someone call her like your artist's favorite artist.
Yeah.
Which I think is very true, and it kind of sucks because I wish more people listened to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would love to go to an Arca DJ set and just experience
That'd
it.
be nuts.
And
yeah.
all her like DJ mixes don't sound like are really good. Like her Hips Don't Lie one is just amazing.
Yeah.
And then her kick series,
Really
really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I need to listen to them. Like, there's so much music I have to get into. You know, I want to talk about Rosalia. You know, because
It's controversial.
Controversial.
It's controversial.
It can be, but I do gotta give her flowers. She's incredible, and like she started off like indie, like flamenco. A lot of respect to her roots, which is awesome. I love when an artist clearly has like a passion for their culture. Her doing that reggaeton album was blew me. Like that was such a left turn for her, like artistically.
It really was. Just the aesthetic behind it too. Like she really committed to it. Also like performance. Like if you've seen her like concert recordings, like she puts on a show.
Yeah.
And like she really put all her hard work in it. And you can tell she's done her research. Like she didn't go into this like as a money grab or as a cash grab. Like she really put her like heart and mind into it.
Yeah. Which is when I first started hearing Moto Mami, which is her most recent reggaeton album, I was expecting it to be kind of like phone-hitting it. Like I know it got like all this acclaim, I was like, well, probably not that good, but it was really good. Saoko blew my mind, like the bassy part, it's so sick. You could tell she heard like she said like she heard a lot of reggaeton growing up, and you can tell that she was like paying a lot of respect to it, but putting this like crazy like artiste pop twist on it. It was sick, like because I'm not gonna lie, reggaeton is not one of my favorite genres. I tend to think it's kind of overrated, but that album really opened my eyes and like, yo, this is actually super sick. And so I'm like less of a hater, less of a reggaeton hater.
No, I mean reggaeton has its jams. I know I listened to this like pirated CD that my dad had, like a whole bunch of like old reggaeton stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
Like Don Omar.
Yeah, like with Don Omar or like Mi Cama Bonati. That's what the CD is
You
called.
know what? My dad, whenever he was trying to get my mom, he wrote a lot of old reggaeton letters.
Really?
And he read those to my mom. And it seemed like he was there.
That's wild. Hey, the game is crazy. You know, speaking of like early reggaeton, I know you have another favorite artist. Well, he's I don't want to say he's reggaeton if you don't think he is, but he's definitely like a rap artist. Calle 13.
Oh my god, yeah. I completely forgot about Calle 13. I love Calle 13. I listened to their, like, it first started with rediscovering Atrévete and like really falling in love with it and its like lyricism. And I was like, this is like brilliant. And then I listened to their full debut album and I completely fell in love. And then I listened to their album that has the most Grammys, Entre lo que quieran. And it's just like, it's beautiful because it's their last album with Sonny. So they make fun of that and they like, again, they have a lot to say about like Latino culture, about like what it means to be Latino, what it means to be like, you know, because of the residente, visitante, like what it means to be like a visitor and a resident and just like an immigrant. It's amazing. I love Calle 13. I completely forgot about them.
Where are they from?
Yeah,
So
they're Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican?
Yes, they're Puerto
I'll
Rican. They're Puerto Rican, yeah.
Alright. Yeah, like again, Calle 13. I feel like most people who grew up in anywhere that where they speak Spanish, no,
yeah.
They were, to me, I don't
Puerto
consider
Rican.
them, I consider them more of a mix of rock and rap.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that. Yeah.
They definitely like. I feel like wouldn't you say like they under like reggaeton roots? Like you can hear a lot of their sound influence in like a lot of reggaeton.
No,
artists.
100%. I know they're one of Shakira's influences, and that's kind of why I started listening to them. Kind of just to stem from it. Yeah, all because of Shakira, and Residente also has a song with Shakira that's really good.
Yeah.
So what do we think about Bad Bunny?
Bad
Bad
Bunny.
Bunny?
Well, I've been trying to get into him. You know, after I listened to Por Siempre, which I think is his debut album. I listened to a few songs, and I will say whoever does the production for Bad Bunny, I wish I knew their name, is ridiculous. The production is insane, but like it's so good. But then like with Bad Bunny, I feel like it's a very hedonistic type of music, and I mean I love pop music from like the late 2000s, early 2010s, which is incredibly hedonistic. But I don't know, I guess I'm trying to vibe with Bad Bunny, but I'm not that level yet. Moto Mami has like made me want to try it again.
Yeah.
The Moto Mami rules, but. I'm trying to listen to more like to Por Siempre and like that most recent album with like the heart. But I don't think yeah.
I never really got into Bad Bunny.
No.
Unfortunately, it's kind of like I've dipped my toes a little bit, but actually I know someone who saw him when he was first starting, like when he came here in Memphis. So I think that's cool. But that's all I have to say about Bad Bunny. I don't know that much.
Yeah, he's the one that saw them before they were big.
Yeah.
I am considered a melomaniac, and it has nothing to do with melons.
Okay.
That's what I thought too. But
What does it mean?
a melomaniac is pretty much someone who enjoys all kinds of music.
Mhm.
No matter where it comes from, you just enjoy it and try to vibe into it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons that I personally don't mind Bad Bunny.
Mhm.
I think some of his songs do have a big meaning in what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Others are just to twerk. That's it.
Yeah.
Others should just into twerk.
Yeah.
I would not mind a good twerk. Anyway, that's just me.
Yeah.
But he's a very big influence right now, especially in the right one. There's no one day that I don't go to my house and I don't see my brother playing Bad Bunny. I do like his new album, Verano Sin Ti.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's a lot of hits. I'm like,
Mhm.
But the favorite song that I find is Y Se Ve a Tu Mamá because the rhythm that he plays is from a Brazilian. It was from a Brazilian song. It was called "The Girl from Ipanema."
oh yeah.
No, yeah.
So that
Super iconic song.
Yes.
Super iconic Hispanic song. Yeah.
I hear in the elevator every time.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It's something about it.
Yeah.
It's a very good influence. I think right now most of that influence comes from Caribbean countries like
Yeah.
Bad Bunny,
Yeah.
Shakira, J Balvin, Maluma, Ozuna.
Yeah. Maluma and Ozuna, I will give them flowers because they were there before Bad Bunny. I just want to say
That's true. That's
and,
true.
and like they really put reggaeton like in America. Like if you go to Cali, you heard a lot of that. Speaking of Cali, I do want to go to another genre, but on top of reggaeton, yeah, they really put like reggaeton on the map. But when Bad Bunny just started making it, I don't know how it clicked with American audiences so well, but it just blew up. Like Bad Bunny just had that secret recipe, I guess.
I think it was just kind of his like style and like
Yeah.
his unapologeticness
Yeah.
to like just enter the room and like everything he's done to just be influential. And he like really speaks to our generation, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because if you put like 10 Gen Z people in the room, probably like 8 of them all listen to Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I think it also because Bad Bunny does like Maluma and like Ozuna, they have like very emotional side to them,
That's true.
and I feel like a lot of reggaeton could have come up as just abrasive and maybe a little bit tacky,
Mhm.
but Bad Bunny, like I feel like with the mix of his deep voice and with how emotional the topics can be, a lot of people are like, yo, this is actually fire. But like if you like Bad Bunny, listen to Motomami. I'm just saying, it's so good.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Motomami deserves its flowers.
It does.
Definitely.
I feel like it has gotten a lot of flowers, but I feel like it really deserves it.
Yeah,
It really
100%. It needed a Grammy. Plus, did the Latin Grammys happen yet?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
They did?
I
The
think
I feel like Motomami won. They
I
did.
think so. Because I know she didn't win any Grammys, like regular English Grammys.
Like the best Latin was won by Rosalia, and not that one.
Latin Grammy Awards. Gotta
Yeah.
do some research.
The Latin, I believe when I saw them, Rosalia won the best Latin.
Oh,
Latin
Rosalia won
yeah.
the album of the year. Shit. Motomami won.
And that's what the whole controversy happened, why she shouldn't have been picked.
Yeah.
Because she's not Latin.
Yeah, but she did her work though. She did her homework.
I think it's like, I think the problem is that like Spain is one country and then Latin America is like
30?
like 30 different countries and
Yeah.
like she makes music in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the Spanish speaking people live in Latin America.
Yeah.
And it sucks that like it's called the Latin Grammys and it
Yeah.
has to be separate. Like why aren't they just together?
Yeah,
You know
that
what
is
I
true.
mean?
I feel like that stemmed also from where a lot of the controversy stems from.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I feel like she definitely paid a lot of respects to the genre. I'm not, again, like Hispanic, like Spaniard people, they tend to have controversy when it comes to dabbling into Hispanic culture, but she did it in a very respectable way. So
Mhm.
I'm not angry.
Yeah.
I am kind of angry because she did it so well.
Yeah, no. I was a hater at first. I was like,
Me right now.
I was a huge hater, and then I listened to it, and I just was listening to it every day. I think it was like my number 2 or my number 1 last year.
Yeah.
Like most listened to album.
Alright, so what you wanted to get into California?
Yeah, so in
Yeah.
California, there's a new genre, well, relatively new genre,
Oh.
corridos tumbados. They can be kind of controversial, but corridos tumbados, I think are great. I'm not even lying. I think they're awesome. And for someone who is like super into like, rock music specifically, I was not expecting to like corridos tumbados as much as I did, but they will, because first of all, they are unapologetically Mexican. They're so, like, it's like, I would almost say like modern day boleros, like for Gen Z. Like they're like about love, they're about like emotion and stuff, but from like a very like young generational perspective.
I can see it. I can see it. Natal Cano is a very, he's a very good influencer about that.
Yeah.
What's the other man? Natal Cano, Eslabón Armado.
like when in terms of like Puerto Rican battles, I can give a few examples of you. If you are Hispanic, you probably know some, but like the most popular one because it became a meme, even in English, was Jugaste y Sufrí. Jugaste y Sufrí, which is like it's kind of funny listening to it because it became kind of a meme.
Yeah.
But it's an actually really good song.
Mm-hmm.
Junior H, that's one of the really big,
Junior,
a really big Puerto Rican battle artist, and yeah, he's I don't know because it's clearly Mexican music, but it has like this.
Junior, like he combines trap.
Yeah,
and
trap.
corridos.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it has like this, but it's not like it sounds like trap. It has like a trap atmosphere. It's like slower, denser, but with like very like trippy sounding guitars. I don't know. I think it's a great combination.
Ovi, Cristian Nodal does, but
Listen to that. I feel like he's more of a straight banda artist.
He's a ranchera.
Yeah.
One of the greatest artists, Vicente Fernandez.
For sure.
He made a lot of original music. Pedro Infante y Jorge Negrete.
Yeah.
The influence is this genre of, this macho man who's always right, and whenever a girl hurts him, he's so hurt that he doesn't know what happened, he doesn't know how these emotions happen.
Yeah.
There's always misogyny there.
Yeah, there is. I will say, but I do think I will say that Jorge Negrete and Pedro Infante we're what era, like 60s, right? We're talking 60s.
50s, 40s.
Yeah, so this is like a long time ago in Mexico. Even then, they were incredibly like emotional for their time. I feel like a lot of music does show the emotions of men, but like this music, I feel like for Mexican men who try to show, be like, oh, ranchero, like cowboy, rootin' tootin', like tough. It was very emotional, and I like that music a lot of them too.
Los Tigres del Norte, I would consider them regional, but they're norteño.
Yeah, I think norteños are great. A great genre. Tell us about
it. It's just the accordion. The accordion is it's a necessary part for it. If you wanna start your own norteño group, you better have an accordion with you.
Yeah.
And the lyrics can be about anything, but the el bajo sets though, and how much emotion they play. Usually this is where the aspirations of narco corridos come from.
Yeah.
Because there's the norte, caciques are.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more aspiration that comes from that. Como los Tigres del Norte, los huracanes del Norte, pesado,
the nature of lyrics.
Intocable y duelo, all of them great for dancing.
Yeah.
That's what I hear more from here. That everybody here is just wants norteños. This is a big influence in the music that we listen to today. It's like Natal Cano does it, Eslavo Armado does it. They all bring this sort of norteño type of music and apply it into their styles.
Yeah, I feel like that's what Puerto Rican battles, they definitely have a lot to owe to norteños. But they replace the accordion like parts with like guitars, really. Yeah. And like I feel like with Puerto Rican battles, guitar is like a lot more accessible than accordion. So like replacing it with the guitar just makes sense. Like, they replaced it, and it's just more of a mellow atmosphere. I can see why so many like young Hispanic kids are really into it.
Do you know what a guapango is?
Aguapango? What is that?
Yeah, I do know. Well, I've heard them before. Like, and also Zapatiado, right? That's the type of music.
That's where I'm from. So usually it's a folkloric dance. It's in the Huasteca region.
Okay.
Well, supposedly, but it's spread across around.
Yeah.
That's what kids dance to.
No, not me.
Not so much.
Really, that's what they used to dance when I was in high school. Like, you would go to quinceañeras, you had like guapangos and then zapateados.
El zapateo todavía se baila.
Yeah, that's good, yeah. But like,
El guapango, I haven't heard of it yet because you have to have a harp and a guitar and a violin, and then you have to dance to it. You have to step your feet every single time when you go in a circle.
Yeah.
It hurts. What is there?
Yeah.
Como ya llegó el huitlacoche. You never heard?
I've heard this, yeah.
Yeah, so you all dance around and you all go in a circle and try to dance that song out.
Yeah, unfortunately I was not a very good dancer, so I didn't dance a lot. I do regret that because I wish I got into the rhythm because there's so many danceable genres in Spanish. So we're probably like
Mexican music.
Yeah. Well, bachata is not Mexican.
Yeah, not Mexican. Like I meant because we were just talking about what bangos and zapateado.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm used to dancing to.
For sure. But yeah, but if we're talking about like when you go to like quinceañera or you go to any kind of dancing, like you have bachata, salsa, tango, merengue. There's so many things. Cumbia. There's so many things to dance to.
Punta.
Yeah.
Honduras.
There's so many danceable stuff.
You're from Honduras, right? So what's a regional?
Well, there's Punta, so that's originated by like the Punas people, which is the tribe consisting of like freed West African slaves that like just got together and created this culture in Central America. It's not just in Honduras, but they're mainly live in Honduras. And it's basically like just punta means, it comes from the Garifuna word punta, which is to shake your butt. And that's basically what you do. And it's like very Caribbean and like very West African influence.
Okay.
And the most famous one, unfortunately, is written by like non-Garifuna people. Is Sopa de Caracol. That's the most iconic song from Honduras. I think that's the only punta that like broke a lot of records.
Okay.
But unfortunately, like Garifuna people weren't involved in that. But yeah, that one's really iconic. And then, yeah, there's also, I forgot their name. I can't think of the name. But there's also this like recent punta band that's been popular, and I think they came to Memphis.
Okay.
But I'm thinking Punta de Sona for some reason. That's not their name.
No.
That is not their name. I forget. But yeah.
Okay. You know, I actually want to talk about this. There's a cool genre I forgot, but it's like bolero beat is like this weird genre. It's bolero, obviously, but it has like this British influence to it. So like, there's like a weird like rocky undertone to like boleros. I don't know. I think it's sick. It's So I just wanted to point it out because I think it's super cool. And because the name reminded me, what's the genre they play in like the Caribbean that's like very drum based? You know what I'm talking about?
In mambo?
I don't think so. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank here, but it's like it's very danceable and it's very percussion heavy. Let's see, I'm gonna do a little bit more research. There's a lot of African influence and a lot of Hispanic music too,
That's true.
because of like obviously the history with like slave trading. Like the genres kind of go hand in hand a lot of the time, and it's really cool to see that like that mix of cultures come together. If you look up like best ever, you know, usually it's very like American and British focused. You know, it happens. You know, most people listen to like Hispanic people listen to rock.
Side note to that.
Okay, what's up?
Do you know what country listens to the Beatles the most?
Isn't it Mexico? I'm just kidding. I don't know that. Is it? Okay, that's like it makes sense though. Well, I'm not sure if that's accurate.
That is.
But like my grandfather loves the Beatles. I think there's like this just huge love for rock as well, especially like pop rock.
On Mexico especially.
Mhm.
Mexico is mostly has a lot of rock bands, and it's always had this rock culture. For example, El Tri.
Yeah.
El Tri is a great band. Maná, who can forget them?
Yeah.
Inspector. Inspector, of course.
Yeah. Well, I do want to. Okay, can I go?
Okay.
Well, because it gives me an opportunity to talk about like one of my favorite genres. So ska. I love ska. Ska is like Jamaican. It's like it has roots based in Jamaica, but it became really popular with punk bands for some reason. It became really popular to integrate like this bass tone. Like it's like a walking bass line, and a lot of Hispanic artists like embraced it. So like Inspector plays ska music. Yeah, it's just really cool like to hear ska be such a transcendent genre.
So you're saying you don't know how to dance?
No, I don't.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, I got to live.
I could teach you. You know, I know how to dance almost everything.
That's great.
From tangos in Argentina to cumbias in Colombia to guapangos, norteñas, waltz. Even there's Spanish waltz, danzones.
Yeah. What is that? Tiempo de mar. Tiempo de mar.
Yeah, but do you know what danzón is?
I'm not.
Danzón?
No, elaborate.
Bet you've heard it. It's like, you know that song that goes na 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 na.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, in that song specifically, that it's used so much in cartoons and everything, it was made by this Mexican composer. His name was Juventino Rosas, and he created that team that goes with waltz. And so that was one of the first things I had to learn how to dance, because in Mexico, in that school system, you have to learn.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I know how to dance from cumbia, samba, to merengue, to bachata.
So many. Yeah, I definitely gotta start dancing more. Because my brother does. My mom knows how to dance. I'm unfortunately couldn't get
$2 out there for 30 minutes.
Go to Blue Moon every Saturday. So that you can sneer and have it there.
No, yeah.
Oh,
I could definitely
free food too.
I'm
all the
really
good things.
Yeah. Hope
Yeah.
they're Mexicans.
Yeah, if they're
They're
not,
probably are Mexican.
I'd say I'm Argentinian. I could probably blend it. No, that is super sweet. Like there is just so much, and I'm glad we got to talk about it. There's just so much culture, and it's a good stick.
So out of all the countries, which one do you think gives out the more influence?
Mexico.
I think, weirdly enough, I think it's Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah, I think Puerto Rico has the most definitely the most modern influence.
Mm-hmm. I think modern, yeah.
But even through history, just Puerto Rico has had so much history, like with like again more like bolero. I guess boleros are Puerto Rican. Boleros tend to be popular there, but like more again more of that like African like drum. Yeah, or Cuban. Yeah, I think just the Caribbean as a whole. Like,
that's true.
Yeah, so I think it may be Puerto Rico. Like out of the Caribbean countries, maybe Puerto Rico.
Think so?
Yeah. What do you think?
Cuba.
Cuba. Okay. So yeah, we're like in the Caribbean. What do you think is Mexico? I'm curious.
A lot of the non-Mexican artists that I listen to have some sort of mariachi influence.
Oh, yeah?
Strangely enough, I know Shakira did. But I also think realizing that is because I listen to non-Mexican artists who probably want to venture out influences that are Mexican. You know, they're surrounded by so many Caribbean influences.
Yeah, for sure.
Now realizing that. Yeah.
So like, remind me where Shakira's from.
Shakira's from Colombia.
Colombia. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of Shakira's, once you transcended from like more to the poppy style, definitely a lot of Caribbean influence. And especially now, that's definitely more to like, well, not to be like again a nerd, but like there's a genre of reggaeton called like neo perreo, which is like a less misogynistic, more like female focused reggaeton. And I think she's doing that, like obviously like Rosalía being like a huge, the biggest artist to open the door for that. I think it's really cool just to see like, I don't know, just how much like Puerto Rican influence there is in a lot of music. Like not even in just like English music. I mean, not even in just Spanish music, but in English music too. You hear a lot of reggaeton influence, which more gentrified. Like when didn't like Drake try to make like a reggaeton album? I know the Black Eyed Peas did, and it was really bad. But they try to make like a reggaeton album. Like if you're not gonna do your homework, like don't be making reggaeton.
That's true.
Just to finish up thoughts. Okay. What do you think would be the best, because most of the music that we listen to in Spanish usually is a cover version from American songs. Most likely. But what about the opposite? What do you think about the songs that were from Spanish to English? Which one would be a good example to listen to?
True. I can't think of one in Spanish, but I know a lot of bossa nova, which we didn't get into a lot. But bossa nova is hugely translated into English. Like the girl from Ipanema. Like probably the most famous bossa nova song, and probably the most popular song of all time. I think it's the most covered song ever, and so definitely like a lot of bossa nova. Bossa nova is just like really nice to listen to. Very loungy, very like it's a very atmospheric genre of music. So a lot of bossa nova music is translated into it.
How about you, Leslie? What do you think?
I feel like I'm a little ignorant on this topic. I really think, but yeah, what do you think?
Oh,
the same.
I mean, there's been a lot of independent people who've done it. And sometimes I do go to YouTube to see, I wonder what we translation of this song. I wonder why would this song sound in this language. There was this one that they made of this great, I forgot the video, but I watched a long time ago about this person who made a cover song from a lot of Hungarian songs. And they all just sounded great because it actually made sense. Like he didn't do it because of it. He actually did make his own lyrics, but use it too. But made it like a theme. For example, Yo no nací para. That song, which thinks about how this was born loveless, didn't know how to love, or because he never had love. He made a cover of that song, made his own lyrics, but he still kept the beat and he made it into his own. That's a great example of all we can. Pretty much you can change the language, but as long as you keep the theme of the song, you're good.
Think of like an artist and think of like a song. Doesn't have to be by that artist, but like that you think are essential. So not to put you on the spot, Leslie, but what would your answer be for those two questions?
I think I would start with early Shakira.
100%,
because I feel like that just broadens your roots to transcend more. Because I feel like a lot of people have influenced by Shakira, and she features a lot of those artists that are influenced by her. And I think Essential Song definitely got that there. Yeah, sure. It's so iconic. It was really popular at the time. It's so popular now. And it's a banger. Like you can dance to it, and you can also like learn something from it too. And as I said, the lyrics to it are just so beautiful.
What about you, Justine?
No, La Bamba, no. Because that's already in song translated from Spanish one. I forgot to mention that one.
La Bamba, that's
I forgot about that one.
X has a huge breakthrough for Hispanic culture in America. La Bamba. Can't believe we forgot.
Maybe La Vida Loca too. I forgot.
Yeah, Ricky Martin really did it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So much history here.
Yeah.
There's not one song. I think the genre that is pretty much not taken into account is just boleros
For sure.
and rock. Because I know people listen to it. Well, in fact, I'm not even going to tell you, Jenna. I'm going to tell you this honestly. Don't listen to the music just because it sounds great. Actually, put attention to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because what makes music unique, it's not going to be the sound of it, but it's also the meaning that the artist is trying to give you as a whole.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to recommend you a song. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend you to just at least pay attention to the songs that you listen to.
Yeah.
Pay attention, listen to the lyrics. Promise you there's a beautiful story or a great story that you might find because the artist is giving his time and effort into it. So that's my recommendation.
If I were to, I'm trying to think. Obviously, I would say listen to Canción de Liga. I think it's super underrated genre. Well, not from Mexico, not specifically from Mexico, but Mexico is really popular. Probably like Juan Gabriel. He's definitely an essential artist. Just look up any of his live performances, to be honest. I feel like an essential Juan Gabriel cut would be like Abrázame muy fuerte. That song just builds and builds and builds and builds. It's ridiculous. And more rock stuff, because I'm a huge rock guy. I didn't talk about him at all, but Café Tacuba. Yeah.
How can we forget?
There's also Los Caifanes
Los Caifanes.
and Zoe. And there's a whole bunch of rock bands from Mexico.
Zoe.
Yeah.
Laregi.
Yeah.
What's Carla Morrison too?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention her too.
There's so many Argentinian rock bands too that I could put in Nanitos Verdes.
And Los Auténticos Decadentes.
Yes. There's actually pretty.
Gloria Trevi for rock.
Gloria Trevi. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
An icon.
No, she was my favorite drag star.
That's what you call her.
Yeah. No, but she is incredibly also just super influential. Very controversial artist, but super.
I think she went to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't deny her.
Controversy.
Oh, I can't deny that, but I can't deny her.
Talent. Yeah.
Very bad.
I thought you were gonna say talent. I didn't think you were gonna say controversy.
But yeah, I would say listen to La Locomotora by Café Tacuba. It's one of the best songs ever.
Oh, Ingrata.
Yeah. That song's a parody of
Ya no digas que me quieres.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it because then we're gonna get copyrighted.
Yeah. But it's a parody of that style of music. But it also kind of rules.
Let's thank Leslie for being here tonight because she got her effort. And thank you for watching us. We appreciate you listening to our podcast and at least giving us a voice for you to listen to. And again, very much appreciated. Please subscribe and enjoy this. Like and comment if you want to. Put your favorite artist on. I want to see what you think.
Yeah, but who we miss?
Yeah, who did we miss?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
But how do I stop recording?
Should
There should be a button.
Is it the same button?
Huh?
Does it